students, welcome back to Data Communication video lecturing session. The fourth module describes framing, simple and common data link protocols, HDLC, PPP, etc., transition mode in the protocol using FSM, and finally it explains the multiplexing in the case of point-to-point protocol. So first we'll see what are the major functionalities of DLC. So we know that the data link layer has two sublayers. Data link layer has two sublayers. The first one is DLC, that is data link control, and the second one is MAC. That means multiple access control. Multiple access control. DLC means data link control. The major functionalities of DLCs are framing, flow control and error control. Similarly, the major functionalities of MAC are, the first one is encapsulation of data. Encapsulation of data, and also it provides access to the media. So in short, we can conclude that the data link layer has two sublayers. The first one is DLC and the second one is MAC. The major functionalities of DLCs are framing, flow control and error control, and multiple access control. The major functionalities are encapsulation and access to the media. Framing. In the case of physical layer, the transmission of bits, it will be in terms of signals. And while transmitting the data from source to the destination, the physical layer provides bit synchronization. It provides bit synchronization. That means sender and receiver uses same bit duration. The sender and the receiver uses same bit duration. But in the case of data link layer, which packs the bits within a single unit. So the data or information will be packed within a single unit, and that unit we can call it as frame. And the framing in the case of data link layer, which separates the message from one source to a destination by adding the sender address and the receiver address. To the respective frame, the sender and receiver address will be added. So we can say that the receiver address, or else it is nothing but the destination address. Receiver address or destination address, which specifies where exactly the packet need to be transmitted, to which respective node the packet need to be transmitted. Similarly, the sender node or sender address or the source address is used in order to send back an acknowledgement from the receiver after successful transmission of the data. That means from the destination node, this destination node will send a positive acknowledgement if the data transmission is successful. So for that we can make use of the sender address in order to send an acknowledgement from the destination node. So suppose the message carried within the frame. Suppose the message carried within the frame if it is large. So if you are having huge number of bit of information is transmitted within a single frame. Suppose a single bit is corrupted. Suppose if this is my data, it consisting of some set of information and the size of the frame is large. So I can say that suppose if this respective bit is corrupted, what I need to do is the entire frame need to be retransmitted. Entire frame need to be retransmitted even if a single bit error occurred at the destination. So when a message is carried in one very large frame, even a single bit error would require the retransmission of entire message. So in order to overcome from this problem, what we can do is, so we can divide the frame into smaller size. So we can have a smaller frames. The size of the frame we can maintain bit small so that a single bit error, suppose single bit error is occurred over here, suppose if this is the frame, so what we can do is we can retransmit that small frame. So that means when a message is divided into smaller frames, a single bit error affects only that small frame and we can retransmit, or that means the destination node can request the sender node in order to retransmit the same frame again. The frame size may be either fixed one or variable one. In the case of fixed size framing, so no need for defining the boundaries. That means the size itself can be considered as delimiter in such cases. And for example, we can make use of fixed size framing in the case of ATM wide area network, where the fixed size frames can be called as sets. Variable size framing. In the case of variable size framing, we need to define end of the frame and the beginning of the next frame. So we can use two different approaches here. The first one is character oriented approach. The second one is bit oriented approach. Character oriented framing, which is also called as byte oriented framing. Here the data may be of 8-bit character from a coding system such as ASCII. So here the data, along with the data which is of 8 bits, so we need to consider header information and the trailer information. So always the header information carries the source address, destination address and other control information. Similarly, the trailer information carries error detection or error correction redundant bits. So that means error detection bar correction redundant bit. So in the case of character oriented framing, each data may be of 8-bit character from a coding system and which carries the header information as well as the trailer information. So the meaning of header information is, which is nothing but the source and destination address along with other control information. So and in the trailer, which carries error detection or error correction redundant bits, once again both header and trailer are of 8 bits or else the multiples of 8 bits. To separate one frame from the next frame, an 8-bit information can be added at the beginning and the end of each frame and which is called as flag. I can say that flag bit is of 8 bits or 1 byte. Suppose if this is one frame, I need to add the flag bit at the end of the frame as well as at the beginning of each frame. So this flag, which is composed of protocol dependent special characters, signals the start and end of a frame. So this is the actual frame which already carries the header information and the trailer information. Along with that, we need to add the flag bit in order to separate one frame from the next frame. The diagram shows a frame in the case of character oriented protocol in which consisting of variable number of characters over here. So later we can add header and trailer information. As I mentioned before, header information carries source and destination address and other control informations, and the trailer carries error detection and correction redundant bits. Along with that, we can add flag bits which is of 8 bits which will separate one frame from the other frame. Byte stuffing and unstuffing. Character oriented framing can be used only text was exchanged by the data link layer. While selecting the flag value, we need to choose any character which is not present in the text. So now the question comes, how we can choose the flag value. While choosing the flag value, we have to choose the flag value. It may be a single character such that that respective character should not appear in the text information. Suppose if we are transmitting other type of informations like graphs or audio or video kind of information, in such instant flag value may be a part of information itself. So I can say that suppose the flag value may be a part of our information itself. In such instant, what happens is the destination node may wrongly predict the flag value as data or else data as flag value. So because the flag will appear within the information itself. So we have to choose the flag value such that a character which is not present within the information or data. In some instant, flag value may be a part of the information itself. In such cases, the destination node may consider the data as flag value or its flag as data value, and it will extract the data. In order to overcome from this problem, we can make use of the concept called as byte stuffing. So here we can add one extra character, or which is also called as character stuffing. The data section will be stuffed with one extra byte which is called as escape character, and that escape character will be removed at the destination node. The diagram shows the concept of byte stuffing and unstuffing. So we can observe that this is the data from the upper layer. Byte stuffing is a process of adding one extra byte whenever there is a flag or escape character in the text. Suppose if this is the data from the upper layer, so at the sender node, so here we can add one extra character that is called as escape character, because here we are having the flag value. So here, since we are having the escape character, so we can add one more escape character. So I can say that this is a frame which is sent from the sender node along with two extra characters which are stuffed. So that phenomenon we can call it as byte stuffing. So at the destination node, the same frame will be received along with two extra characters, that is escape characters, and what exactly the receiver does is the receiver will remove the extra escape character whatever which is added at the sender node, and it will get back the original data so that is same as that of the data which is received at the sender node from the upper layer. So I can say that the byte stuffing is a phenomenon which can be considered at the source node, and the byte unstuffing is a phenomenon which can be considered at the destination node. So byte stuffing is a process of adding one extra byte whenever there is a flag or escape character in the text. So the second one is bit oriented framing. In the case of bit oriented framing, the data or information of a frame is a sequence of bits which need to be interpreted by the upper layer as text, graphic, audio, video and so on. So in addition to the header and the trailer information, we need to add the delimiter to the frame in order to separate one frame from the another frame. So most protocol uses a special 8-bit pattern flag, and the flag value is 01, 11, 11 and 10 as the delimiter in order to identify the beginning and end of the frame. So here we can clearly observe that, so this is the actual data from the upper layer. We already added header and the trailer information, and we consider the delimiter in order to identify the beginning and the end of the frame by considering the flag value with 8-bit pattern which is of 01, 11, 11 and 10. In the case of bit oriented framing, we consider the flag value as 0, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1 and 0. So now the flag may create the same type of problem which was arised in the case of character oriented framing. That means the flag may appear in the text or data. So now we need to somehow inform the receiver that so this is not the end of the frame. That means the receiver may think that within the data so this flag value may come. So at that instant what exactly the receiver does? So receiver may think that either so that part of the frame or information will be end of the frame or beginning of the frame. So in order to overcome from this, so we can make use of the concept called as bit stuffing. So in the case of bit stuffing, we can add one extra bit. We can add one extra bit, and that bit is nothing but 0. When we can add this extra bit? So in the information or data, suppose if you are having 5 consecutive ones. So now I need to add one extra bit followed by the actual data. So bit stuffing is a process of adding one extra 0 whenever 5 consecutive ones follows a 0. 5 consecutive ones follows a 0 in the data, so that the receiver does not mistake the pattern, that is the flag value. So that means, so if you are using bit stuffing, we can avoid the wrong prediction of the destination node. The diagram shows bit stuffing and unstuffing. Here, so this is the data, that is 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 0, 0 and so on. So what we need to do is, so we have to check wherever 5 consecutive ones comes. So here we are having how many ones? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7 ones. So now in the case of bit stuffing, after 5 consecutive ones, so the source node will add one extra bit, that is nothing but 0. So followed by the actual data. Once again here also the same thing. 1 1 1 1 5 consecutive ones are there, add one extra bit, that is 0 bit. So in this example we consider 2 extra bits are stuffed along with the actual data. So now the same data or frame will be sent to the receiver node. So now the receiver node will check the consecutive or continuous ones at the data section, and it will remove the additional bit or next bit which was stuffed by the sender node. So the removal of that extra bit is called as by bit unstuffing. So after bit unstuffing, the actual data will be received at the destination node. For any queries, please mail me at sadhana.b@canaraengineering.in. Thank you.